Well, now I'm supposed to believe that there was an attempt on George Soros' life, that there was a bomb in his postbox, his mailbox. And I'm supposed to believe that the media had all these think pieces and thoughtful articles about anti-Semitism and how important it is to stop, criticism of Soros. They had them all prepared, and it all was released and published at the same time, but they were clearly prepared. This is clearly a false flag. I'm not even entertaining the idea that this is real, because Soros is too devious, and the media is too much of a liar, and Soros funds them. It would have been time to do something about Soros before he started buying up the media, before he started buying up social media, before he bought up PayPal, before he bought Netflix, before he basically owned Wikipedia, Snopes, everything. He's buying up the world. It's not an exaggeration to say that. It's not a conspiracy theory to say that, because following the money isn't a theory. It's very, very scientific, and it's publicly declared. So I don't know why the same media comes out and says that it's a conspiracy theory that he funds things when it's publicly declared. He's universally acknowledged to have destabilised country after country around the world. He's now buying up the world. Why is that acceptable? And people will hide. People will protect him and say it's anti-Semitic to criticise him. That he's a Nazi war survivor. Oh, he's a Jew and he survived the Holocaust. Bullshit! You've seen the interview of 60 Minutes with George Soros where he says it was the happiest time of his life. You've seen the interview where he says not at all, it didn't present a problem at all. And maybe when you're younger, you worry about these things, but now I don't think so. That was when my character was made. And you actually went out, the interviewer says, you went out and actually partook in taking property from the Jews. Yes, well, if I didn't do it, someone else would have. Those were his answers. Why is that good enough? And why are you protecting him? Shill enemy media. So no, nothing happened to Soros. Nothing was in danger of happening to Soros. This is all just in danger of framing the right. This is why they're doing this, just before the midterms, I might add. They're framing the quote-unquote right, framing the Soros people, framing all the populists, framing all the anti-globalists, so they can say that they're dangerous, that they're going to put bombs everywhere, that they're actually attacking people, and they can say they're anti-Semitic like they believe they are, even though it's the left that's anti-Semitic. They can say whatever they want as long as they've got their propaganda media pumping out the propaganda. That's all we need to stop. Okay, the big thing in life right now, and you save the planet when you do this, is kill the free press. You can bring back free speech, you can get it back from the corporations, but you have to kill the propaganda. It's not news. I always use the example of how they were trying to scupper world peace in North Korea with the denuclearization. They were trying to say that Kim Jong-un isn't really getting rid of his nuclear weapons. Why is it acceptable to have media do this? It comes out with stories. They call them stories. They are lies. They are fabrications. They're fabricated narratives. And even when they come out with a tiny bit of truth, like, a violent mob or caravans that are an army, they have to apologise for them. Like recently, what happened with the AP or Reuters or whatever, they had to apologise for calling this mob an army, for calling an army of the caravans that are coming up through Mexico and Guatemala, these unvetted immigrants which are going to be carrying diseases, etc. galore, but that would be racist to say that. And of course the biggest disease that they carry is that they're illegally entering. And if you're illegal, that means you're a blacklisted human. That means you're like an NPC, except they're not human. And guess who wants to bring all the illegals in? Who's working with the UN? Guess who's working with the NGOs? Guess who funds all these operations to bring in migrants? They've started wars, they're genuine refugees, and then they bring in migrants and say, no, they're refugees. So the whole of 9/11, let's think about this. The whole of 9/11 was a coalition effort by Saudi Arabia and Israel, as evidenced in Larry Silverstein and the 28 pages of Saudi Arabia, as well as America and all the operations going on at NORAD, etc., to stand down and overwhelm the censors with, fake simulations. That was done so that we would go to war in the Middle East. That was done so that we would have a refugee crisis, so that we could take in migrants and call them refugees. That was done so it could destabilise the West, destroy any kind of safety, remove free speech, and bring in totalitarianism. That's how it's been done. It's all incremental, but you can see how it's all fit together. The false flag triggered the wars triggered the migration. And the migration is being pushed by Soros, by the NGOs, by the UN, and by every leftist who says that it's intolerant or racist to not have them. And that includes every bit of enemy media. I can't even speak now. Enemy media! It's not an exaggeration to say enemy media, if you can say it. They are the enemy. They're the enemy of mankind. They're more the enemy than Russia. Okay, we keep being told that Russia's the enemy. Yeah, they poisoned the Skripals, didn't they? Yeah, they did this. Yeah, they did that. They weren't involved in election meddling, although, the Democrats were colluding with Russians, and then there was Obama talking to that Russian guy saying, yeah, I'll have more flexibility after the election, and then the guy said, I'll get word to Vladimir immediately. No, that didn't happen. Still, Trump just gave a massive speech in America, attracted 8,500 people, and then a few days later Obama gave a speech to 2,000. He's not very popular, is he, Obama? In fact, now we look at the numbers and popularity, and Trump is way more popular than Obama was at this time in his presidency, despite the barrage of propaganda that tells us to hate him, that tells us bad orange man. Maybe we like men, maybe we like oranges.